A crooked card game, a poisoned kingdom, and the vast, lawless sea. Welcome to a tale where every oath is weighted with gold and betrayal. Beat. Ready to hoist the black flag? Introduction. From Camor's shadows to Talverar's gilded tables, the gentleman bastards have survived fire, alchemy, and the cutthroat alleyways of Camor. Beat. Now, 2 years later, Locke Lamora and Jean slip into Talverar, a city balanced between opulent spires and lurking reefs. They're older, haunted, and determined to prove that their legend is no fluke. Beat. Here, the towering Sinspire casino promises fortune or death for those who dare to cheat. Locke's plan gleams with emphasis, audacity. He'll rob the Sinspire twice, first at the gaming tables, then in a vault 9 stories above a lagoon teeming with sharks. Beat. Jean tempers the scheme with pragmatic muscle, but both men carry invisible scars. Their crew was butchered, their trust in the world frayed. Now they cling to each other, bantering through pain the way other men breathe. Beat. But Talverar is not Camor. Archon Maxillan Stragos, commander of the city's military, sees in Locke and Jean a pair of pawns to ignite a regional war. Beat. Poisoned by the Archon and bound to a forced quest. Steal a fleet, incite piracy, topple the city's political order. The duo must juggle deadly timelines, cheat the casino, commandeer a ship, survive the Archon's antidote schedule, and still keep one step ahead of assassins who whisper the name of the emphasis Bonsmarge. This introduction sets our stage. A game layered atop a game, every player bluffing with lives instead of cards. Beat. With storms brewing on the horizon, Locke and Jean embark on an odyssey that will test the very idea of brotherhood. Section 1. The Sinspire Caper. High stakes and higher deceit. Theme at Sinspire. A crystalline spire thick with velvet, mirrors, and the scent of cloying incense. Beat. Its rules are brutal. Cheat once, and you leave by the window, 9 stories down. Locke's counterfeit persona, Lucas Fairwhite, infiltrates high society, wooing heiresses with rigged decks, while Jean prowls as his dour bodyguard. Tables whirl, dice clatter, and every grin is a knife. Locke's gambit hinges on misdirection. While the house watches his fixed card games, he secretly maps staircases, patrol routes, and the vault layout. Beat. His toolkit? A chemist's array of glues, inks, and weighted silver chips. But the caper's genius is also its peril. The dealer Requin and his partner Selendri are predators. They taste lies the way sharks taste blood. Jean notes Locke's hands trembling, reminders of emotional poison still coursing from Camor's losses. Beat. Inside their banter, Scott Lynch threads real grief. The friends they failed to save, the futures they'll never claim. The caper therefore becomes therapy. Success would prove they still control something in a world that ripped away their family. Tension peaks when the Archon ambushes them mid-heist. Beat. Stragos infects Locke and Jean with a slow toxin whose only cure he rations. Now the caper isn't about wealth. It's collateral to fund a rebellion at sea. Locke's response? Outcon every opponent simultaneously. Here, the novel explores emphasis, agency. Who truly commands a thief's fate when every choice is coerced? Scott Lynch answers with razor humour and raw vulnerability, refusing to let grand capers eclipse the intimate cost. Section 2. Into the Red Seas. Brotherhood. Forged on deck and wave locked into the Archon's scheme, Locke and Jean commandeer a ship, rechristening it the Poison Orchid. Beat. They plunge into the Ghostwind Isles, a corridor of storms and unclaimed plunder, seeking to masquerade as genuine pirates long enough to spark naval panic. Enter Captain Zamira Drakasha, a legend with a cutlass and two children who read bedtime stories below deck. Drakasha and her all-inclusive crew practice piracy as self-governance, raid the corrupt, spare the weak. She embodies a moral compass the bastards lost amid Camor's gutters. Beat. Lynch paints sea life in rolling blues and salt-bitten greys. Cannons roar, masts groan, gulls wheel overhead. Jean thrives, finding camaraderie in rigging lines and wrestling contests, while Locke wrestles with severe seasickness, his stomach the novel's running joke. Yet between wretches, he recognizes Drakasha's nobility and begins to question what defines real, emphasis freedom. A daring boarding action cements their bona fides. Against a slaver brig, Locke improvises, swinging on rigging with theatrically bad swordplay to distract, while Drakasha's veterans free shackled prisoners. Beat. The battle's chaos reminds them of Camor's Black Night, yet this time they save lives instead of watching them burn. Trust buds like new canvas in a breeze. Still, the Archon's poison ticks. Locke must secure a fleet or forfeit their lives. He spins tales to pirate captains, leveraging Drakasha's name and gambling on his growing rapport. But each lie risks unraveling the fragile found family bond aboard the Orchid. Beat. Out here, honor among thieves isn't myth, it's currency. Section 3. Mutiny, Revelation, and the Storm of Consequences. Lynch's third act braids three threads: the Pirates' Council, the Sinspire's looming vault, and the Archon's tightening noose. Beat. On the seas, Locke orchestrates a fake mutiny against Drakasha to convince skeptical captains of his ruthlessness. The ruse turns bloody when real bullets fly. A young deckhand dies, and Jean's rage sears the gunwales. The cost of pretend brutality becomes horrifyingly tangible. Emphasis, loyalty, and deception collide. Meanwhile, Tal Varar's political powder keg nears ignition. The Archon plans to stage a pirate attack, then ride public fear to absolute power. Locke and Jean realize Stragos's tyranny will eclipse any casino heist. Beat. The duo vows to ruin him and still rob Requin's vault, a double cross to crown all double crosses. In the Sinspire's moonlit apex, they enact their masterpiece. Acrobatic climbs, mirrored decoys, and alchemical glass. Every trick honed since childhood converges. Yet Requin anticipated the con. The painting's Locke steals are cunning forgeries. He escapes only by leaping into the lagoon, shark fins skimming past his boots. Beat. Failure bites. But survival is its own pocketed ace. Back at sea, they spring their final trap, poisoning the Archon's stores, isolating his navy, and delivering proof of his treachery to Tal Varar's ruling council. Stragos is dethroned, though not slain. A victory half-tempered, because the Bondsmagi's vendetta still shadows Locke. Jean secures the real antidote, but a physician's reveal crushes them. Locke consumed a fatal dose long ago. The Archon's cure was placebo. He has perhaps a year to live. Beat. Mortality chimes like a cracked bell, reminding readers that cunning cannot forever outpace consequence. Section 4. Themes in the wake. Identity, choice, and found family. Beyond swashbuckling set pieces, red seas, under red skies interrogates identity. Locke shifts names like sails, yet each alias chips away at certainty. Beat. Is he Lucas Fairwhite, captain of lies, or simply a grieving orphan clinging to Jean's friendship? Lynch argues that identity is chosen moment by moment, forged through action, not birth. Choice threads every page. The Archon claims he offers none. Requin claims risk is inevitable. Drakasha demands accountability. Locke discovers that refusing to choose is itself a choice, one that costs lives. Beat. When he fakes mutiny, he learns intention cannot erase outcome. The novel thus examines emphasis responsibility in a world where luck and cruelty reign. Finally, there is the theme of found family. The gentleman bastard's original circle lies in graves, yet on the orchid, Locke and Jean glimpse renewal. Children laughing amid cannonballs, pirates who honour votes over violence. This community contrasts with the Sinspire's predatory patrons and the Archon's authoritarian order. Beat. Lynch suggests that true wealth is fellowship anchored in trust, not treasures locked behind steel. By labelling pirates, thieves, and orphans as protagonists, the narrative flips moral expectations. It dares listeners to root for outlaws because they protect one another when kingdoms do not. In doing so, it hints that systems, not individuals, are often the true villains, an idea as resonant today as on any fantasy horizon.